Right now, you might be experiencing doubts about something that's happened in your past. Maybe you're thinking, years ago when I was dating that person, did I make an advance that was unwanted? And has that now ruined their life and they can't stop thinking about it? Did I say something that was offensive? How can I go back and know for sure what happened in that conversation? How do I know that my memory is clear? How do I know that I didn't do something wrong? All of these kinds of doubts and the hours and hours spent researching them to try to figure out exactly what happened and what way did it occur could be an example of what we would call real event or false memory OCD. My name is Dr. Patrick McGrath, and I'm the Chief Clinical Officer for NoCD. I'm a licensed psychologist who specializes in the treatment of obsessive-compulsive disorder. You might say, what do you mean obsessive-compulsive disorder? I thought that was just straightening things or washing things or making sure that I wasn't contaminated with something. And while that is one or two ways that OCD occurs in so many other areas. And one of them actually is doubt and insecurity about things that have actually happened in our lives in the past. And OCD gets in there and throws more doubt and insecurity into those memories to a point where we don't know that we can trust ourselves and the things that we even think about who we are, what our life has been, or any of the things that we've ever done. Now, I'm not able to diagnose you, obviously, through this video experience, but what we'll do today is walk you through how you recognize what OCD is, what's the cycle that it follows. I'm also going to show you some things that you can potentially do right away to help yourself get through this experience, and at the end, give you some links so that you can reach out to people who might be able to help you if this sounds like something that's occurring in your life. OCD follows a cycle. Anything could trigger a false memory OCD experience. So let's say that you're walking down the street and you notice a couple across the street and they look very much in love. And that reminds you of a past relationship that you were in. And you start to think about that relationship. But then remember, one night the two of you were together and you placed your hand on the other person's body. There's doubt. Did I ask permission for that? Was that an okay thing to do? That could become an obsession, an intrusive thought or image or urge. Did they want that? What if they didn't? What if that caused them to feel uncomfortable? What if that led them to no longer want to be in any relationships anymore because they were put in a position where they felt that the power was not equal? Well, now I have to find out. And this could become a compulsion. I have to find that person that I was in that relationship with. I have to call them. I have to ask them, was it okay that I did this? And even if they say, yes, it was fine, it didn't bother me. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Are you really sure? Are you just saying that to me? How do I know that you haven't turned me into the police and that there won't be somebody coming to arrest me because I did something that was so bad and awful and horrible and you're just hiding it from me? What you do for that reassurance doesn't even always have to involve the other person. You may find yourself reliving that night over and over again, trying to remember exactly what happened, exactly the way it happened. Was there a subtle cue that I received? Did I read it the wrong way or the right way? As you'll see, you can't give enough reassurance to somebody who has OCD. They want more and more information. Have you ever truly felt, after getting all of the reassurance that you've gotten in the past, that things were better? Or did it give you just a momentary relief and then the cycle started all over again? Well, the cycle starts all over again because the relief that you get is food for obsessive-compulsive disorder. And could it even get to a point that now, in your search for finding all that information, the person that you're calling is starting to get annoyed and now they are actually feeling uncomfortable? What's actually creating that doubt, that discomfort in that whole experience is the OCD. So the goal here, as difficult as it's going to be, is getting people to be able to be okay with the fact that I won't actually have every single answer that my OCD wants. That I have to live with part of the doubt and the insecurity that I'm finding myself in right now. And I can learn that I can handle that. And you might say, but Dr. McGrath, if I did something wrong, shouldn't I be punished for it? Shouldn't I take responsibility for it? And one of the things that I say to people all the time is OCD's already doing that. OCD is punishing you already for whatever it is that's in your head. The way we work on treating obsessive-compulsive disorder is through something we call exposure and response prevention therapy, or ERP. It really involves two parts. Number one, purposely exposing you to things that are uncomfortable. And know this, OCD's great at that already. The key component though is instead of doing what OCD wants you to do, which is a compulsion, we're going to have you do response prevention, which is the elimination of the compulsion. And we're going to have you do something else. That could be a direct opposite behavior. It could even just be allowing for that thought or image or urge to be there and not do anything about it at all and just let it kind of fade over time, or allow ourselves to learn, I can handle that. If there's an experience you're having right now that says you must have the answer, I want to walk you through allowing yourself to be with doubt and insecurity. You may be having so many doubts and insecurities, and you may be recognizing that they start off with OCD's favorite phrase, which is what if, followed by any worst case scenario that it can possibly think of. And those worst case scenarios could be about how you did something wrong or bad or awful, and you're going to someday have to be punished for it, or there will be some kind of mob coming after you to say what a horrible, awful person you really are. If this is occurring and you find yourself wanting to get reassurance that that's not going to happen, and you have an urge to do more research, you have an urge to call more people, you have an urge to ask questions you've asked multiple times already, my encouragement for you is to not do that. My encouragement for you is to do the opposite. I want to stay here with you for a few moments as we just allow for that experience to be there, and we recognize one of two things. Either the discomfort over time will start to fade, or you'll start to recognize that you can handle this experience better than you ever thought possible. If we can apply the ability to live in uncertainty to what OCD says we can't be uncertain about, we'll do great things. And hopefully, as you've been here now with me listening to this, you've noticed that some of that doubt, some of that uncertainty, and the feelings associated with it have maybe faded a bit. They're not quite as strong as they were. Keep working on that and recognize that the true path away from OCD isn't doing what OCD wants you to do. It's doing the opposite. There's several ways to find a qualified therapist that specializes in the treatment of obsessive-compulsive disorder. The International OCD Foundation, or IOCDF, has a vast directory of therapists available to help, and so does NoCD. Now, NoCD offers live face-to-face therapy. You can do those sessions online with licensed therapists that specialize in the treating of people with OCD and related disorders. You can get connected right on your phone, or go to the NoCD website and book a free 15-minute call with the team. You'll start by doing face-to-face sessions with your therapist, and you can get between-session resources available to you as well. You can message your therapist, participate in peer-led support groups, and at any time use NoCD's platform so that you can get self-help functionality for whatever it is that you need. I'll include a link in the description below, as well as resources from Healthline. Know this, help is available.